Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. As well, happy holidays to everybody who's celebrating today or tomorrow. So around this time of year, it's usually the time that people tend to be the most sick. I am currently sick right now, which is why I decided to touch upon this topic on this video. A lot of people, when they do get sick, they worry that they might contract it to their bird. So usually they quarantine themselves away from their bird in fears that they might spread something and possibly end up getting your bird sick as well. There are certain things that your bird will not catch and certain things that your bird will catch. So depending on what you have will depend on whether you should isolate, and there's also just general precautions that you should be taking in order to keep your bird safe overall. But there are certain sicknesses that you don't need to quarantine yourself away from your bird, just take certain precautions. So let's talk about the ones that you don't have to quarantine yourself from. Usually anything viral, you are fine. A lot of viruses are very human specific. So things like the common cold, your birds cannot catch the common cold. So there are certain receptors on your cells in your body that when a virus comes, it sticks onto those receptors and invades and starts just multiplying throughout your body. Birds don't have these certain receptors. Only us humans get blessed with these. And every year, the cold mutates, which is why it's so hard to cure the common cold. It just isn't the same every single time. It changes its structure. There's also certain influenzas that are viral as well. Again, your bird cannot catch these. You just gotta be sure that it is in a bacterial type. Now, even though your bird cannot catch these and you're safe from spreading it, still be very wary of sharing any bodily fluid with them. As weird as that sounds, I kind of mean more like giving them kisses. If you're gonna sneeze or cough, well, you should be doing this in general, but make sure you're doing it into your sleeve, into your shirt, and make sure to keep your hands washed. So just try and keep them as safe as possible. But again, I have had many colds, many viral infections, just like most of us probably have, and I've always handled my birds around. They've always been okay. Now, this is absolutely your choice, however you feel comfortable. If you're getting very anxious about handling your birds while you're sick, obviously don't stress yourselves, but you don't particularly have to quarantine yourself. As well as we do know, animals cannot catch COVID, so you're also fine if you do end up getting sick with COVID. Now, if it were something to be like a bacterial infection, then I would 100% quarantine yourself. There are certain influenzas that are bacterial, things like pneumonia or tuberculosis, things like strep throat or whooping cough. If you're never sure about what bacterial infection you have or if it's viral, always feel free to quarantine yourself until you are sure about what is going on. There are certain symptomatic presentations that are particular to bacterial or particular to viral, but again, it's always better to be safe. Now, there are a lot of bacterial infections that are transmitted via feces or urine or emesis, which is vomiting. Those can a lot of the times be bacterial. Things like C. diff or any type of hepatitis, definitely be careful about that. And absolutely, I know I mentioned tuberculosis or pneumonia, but if you have any respiratory infection of any kind, absolutely stay away, especially if it's an upper respiratory infection as well. Birds are extremely susceptible to respiratory diseases. This usually is one of the most common things that people bring their birds into the vet for, whether it's due to certain aerosol use, carcinogens, smoke, or even bacterial respiratory infections. Definitely be so careful about this. Get antibiotics if needed, quarantine yourself, but you do not want to let them contract any respiratory infections. And as well, talking about viruses and bacteria as well, be very cautious about any parasite. Even though these don't particularly count as infections, there are other things that you should just be careful for. If you have any bed bugs, any ticks, then please do very cautious. Ticks tend to like birds. Even though they might go for you particularly, just be very careful to quarantine your birds if there are any bug infestations. Sometimes during the summer, we get earwigs sneaking into the house, and I'm very careful with this because if they're crawling on the floor, my birds decide to crawl on the floor, they can easily prick their feet or something. So just always be cautious about the surroundings. Make sure the cage isn't flat on the ground so they can just you know, go through the bars. It is a bit lifted high from the ground, so they are safe. But yeah, there's your answer to your burning questions about whether you can be with your bird or not. I hope everybody is staying healthy, staying safe. Enjoy your time with your friends, family, partner, whatever it is. And if you're spending your times and your holidays just with your birds, enjoy that time as well. We also want to announce that we just got our phone cases and phone grips into our Etsy shop. We have 20 different parrot species that you guys can choose from as phone grips and 10 different phone case model styles. We also include iPhone and Galaxy phones. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you want to see more of us. Leave a comment down below if you have any other questions or you would like to contribute to what I said. Make sure to check out our social media links down below as well as our Etsy shop, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.